12 months ago, we were sat here talking about the World Cup. And one of the biggest stars of the World Cup was VAR. I think pretty much a lot of people around, a lot of people weren't sure about it, but it had a great tournament. However, you fast forward to now, and VAR seems to be upsetting a lot more people than back then, yet you think we're a year on, it should have improved. What's going on?
I believe is the difference in which the system has been implemented. I'll give you a very clear example in Copa America. They go and check VAR. And the guy he's got his hand on his ear and he's listening to the guys, okay, now we got a VAR check. We have no idea what they're checking for.
Yeah.
They don't show any video. So that we're not seeing the same things that the referee's seeing. So you're watching and you're thinking, you're now having to parse information together to try to see what is it that he's seeing and where is there the definite shot on the video that tells you, okay, this is a call that has to change. This is a call that I have to make. Because we don't see it on TV, now we're guessing, just like everybody else. And when you're guessing, then that's when controversy happens. Because then that's when the conspiracy theories come out as, this only happens in Brazil because CONMEBOL and Brazil are somewhat together here because they want Brazil to win it. And then you have Lionel Messi speaking out about it. So that uncertainty should be taken away of the game or from the game by the very existence of VAR. By design, the reason you have this system in place is so that you get most calls right.
Yep.
If you have the system in place and you implement it correctly, you have the World Cup. If you don't, you have Copa America.
I also think part of it was there was some decisions that were made and you'd look at the video and you would see the exact opposite and you would think it's going to be called or it's not going to be called.
Yep.
And they go the other way. So there was no continuity in the decision making. And that part gets a little bit frustrating. But, people to me were coming up and saying, hey, do not want VAR anymore. And I am still very pro VAR because I think you don't want to miss the chance to get it right if it's obvious. And unfortunately, to Ali's point, and I've heard that argument before, and people have brought up, you look at rugby and how they do it in Europe. You do actually hear the referee going through the process.
Yeah.
That might be a way to help educate not only the common fan, but people who are describing it on the TV, and you're doing commentary, and you're like, I see it, it's there, and then it comes back, no.
Yeah.
And it
just get some transparency involved.
Yeah, and that part, that's going to blow people's minds.
But, Jules, there are suggestions, isn't it, from some who supported VAR and now maybe feeling a little tired by it, that maybe it should just be used for your offsides, where it's so clear and you can say yep or no. The problem with this game, when you compare it to others, is the fact that there are so many grey areas. The handball rule, of course, the main one, where no one is going to be completely satisfied. And VAR kind of seems to upset the apple cart more than it helps it.
Yeah, you're right, and it goes back to Ali's point as well. And if you add on top of that the controversy we had in the Women's World Cup over the penalty, and the goalkeeper having to stay on the line or maybe not, and just being like, half an inch just over the line, and having the penalty retaken because VAR said that it has far too much confusion. Where, like you said, it should be easy and simple. And there's a lot of people, more and more people, who are thinking we should have goal line technology for has the ball crossed the line or not, and we should have VAR simply for the offside. And for the rest, you leave it to the referee's interpretation, so you don't have it completely orchestrated by VAR, like we've seen again in the Women's World Cup, where they used it far too much for everything and anything. It was like, let's go and check. Yeah. And like Ali said again, we had no idea what they were checking either. So it has to be simpler and easier for everyone to understand, and maybe even for the referee to show, okay, for this I'll go to VAR, and for the rest I'll just follow my own instinct and what I've seen.
What's frustrating as well is the time that it seems to take. In that we see the replay, we think, and then you've got that for like 2 or 3 minutes. And I know and I understand that they want to get it right, but sending him over to look at the TV screen doesn't hinder that, does it?
No, and so instead of having this, because I think that's also frustrating for whoever is either you're watching in the stadium, it's frustrating for the players. If you're watching it on TV, all you have is the referee doing this, Okay, fantastic. We don't have access to that information. We don't have access to that dialogue. And so you're almost saying, look, man, if you're going to go check it, go check it, see it, come back, let's go, let's play the game.
Yeah.
It takes the momentum away from the game. Now, I'm okay with taking just a little bit longer if you get the call right. The problem is that what we're running into is that we're taking a little bit longer and get the call wrong.
Yeah.
And that cannot happen. That is the part that we have to stop.
But and I totally agree with you, with Alec. But the reason VAR is so good, in my opinion, is all that stuff that happens off the ball
Yes.
that never got called,
Yeah.
ever, is getting called.
How many broken noses, Brian?
And you add in that stuff, what ends up happening is it rarely happens now. You rarely get the person tackling the guy into the ground because they know VAR is going to see it and there's going to be a penalty. So I still believe in VAR and having it for other things than just offside.
Now, let's talk about the Gabriel Jesus second yellow, which cannot be reviewed via VAR. It's not part of the rules. A red card, yes, but because it's a second yellow, they can't then go and look at it.
Can I ask you a question, Dan?
Yes.
What does a second yellow mean?
I believe in the rules of football, 2 yellows equal a red.
So we're getting to the same result. And so therefore, this is when I have to say to these people that sit in a room and make these laws or rules or whatever you want to call them, where's common sense? This is a game-changing decision, potentially. And you're telling me just because the guy saw it as a yellow, ends up being a red, but it's already been determined to be a yellow, we can't look at it? Then what do you have the system in place for?
Yeah.
This is the very reason that you have the system in place, is to check these game-changing decisions. At the very least, make sure that if what you saw and the decision that you made, you can confirm it. Or at the very least say, okay, there is somebody else that can protect me here. I saw something, and I'm going to give a second yellow, all right? And now he's going to get thrown out. But if the call is wrong, then common sense, man. Ends up being a red card for Gabriel Jesus. What if, and it didn't happen that way, but what if Peru comes back, they tie the game up, they go into extra time, they're a man up, they win. How does that affect everybody involved? Make the correct call.
Jules, do you agree?
Yeah, I agree completely with Ale, and I thought watching the game that it was, one, the referee was far too quick to take his second yellow out, and two, obviously realizing straight away that it couldn't be reviewed, which is sheer stupidity in that kind of game, whatever game, to be fair, but even more when it's a crucial game like that, a final, and you're in the dying moments, and the game is still quite tight, and that decision could have such a huge impact on it. For them not to review it is beyond belief.